As an entrepreneur, you're always on the go. So turn your mobile phone into a business phone system with Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone system. Make and receive business calls using our iPhone and Android apps. Get a new business number or keep your current one. Forward your calls to any phone and even get your voicemails transcribed. Join over 250,000 small businesses who stay connected with Grasshopper. See how it works at grasshopper.com, the entrepreneur's phone system.
Hi, I'm Stunning Stella Cheeks.
And I'm the Enigma Erin Klein.
And this is
Not Your Demographic,
a feminist wrestling podcast.
Shockingly, those exist.
Wipe my face about lots of things.
That's true. That is a good point.
Welcome to Not Your Demographic, a feminist wrestling podcast, which you know, because that's the name of the title. We just are
and
bad.
We had an intro.
Yeah, and we had an intro. We're just bad at starting things. Introing. How was your week?
A mixed bag. I had a mixed bag of a week. Some good stuff, but then I got strep, so
yeah,
that blows. It blew a lot.
So much so that you had to wear a SARS mask to Raw last night.
I was like, whatever, Japanese wrestling fans do it all the time.
Yeah, in my head I was like, oh, you are turning into such a New Japan fan.
I was not wearing my Nakamura shirt, so at least there's that.
What shirt did you wear to Raw?
I wore my Cesaro shirt.
Nice.
There were too many active roster people that I couldn't decide. I couldn't pick somebody that I wanted to support over anybody else, so I was like, I'll just pick an injured wrestler.
Did you see that photo of the physical therapist with John Cena, Seth Rollins, and Cesaro?
Oh, did I?
I was like, oh, pander much.
Yeah, exactly.
They're still alive, everyone.
Right? Hello.
That was what that picture was.
Yeah, seriously.
Don't worry, they're still alive.
I'm glad that Cesaro's included. Actually, I saw that posted under, a headline, trainers shown with 3 superstar, high talent, main roster superstars, that's what it was. And Cesaro's in that photo, and that gives me hope that he'll come back and they'll actually do something with him.
Hopefully.
He's BFFs with John Cena now. They're training partners. So
Tyson's been replaced.
Yeah.
In lots of ways.
So many ways.
Has there been any more non-vague update to that?
Nope.
Just a weird natty tweet?
Yep. Just
yeah,
I don't know. If he already knows that he's not going to be part of Cesaro and Kid anymore, I bet he's yeah, it's my time. This should have happened 2 years ago.
Right,
so.
right. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see when he comes back. It also looks like Seth Rollins' blonde streak is R.I.P. Finally gone.
No more rogue streak.
Thank God.
I liked it.
I mean, I liked it, but as I realized how much it was grown out, I was like, that's just...
Yeah, he either needed to maintain it or grow it out.
Right, exactly.
But it's such his look. I bet you that they'll make him diet when he comes back.
I don't know. I guess it'll depend on if he comes back as a babyface or as a heel.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see. How was your week?
Also a mixed bag. So I got a new job, but it is a new job in a field that I don't want to be in and that I chose to leave, working with kids.
Yeah.
I am a preschool teacher again, which is good. Having a job is good. I am good at working with kids, and I still get to freelance and do wedding stuff, and I still get to do this. I still get to work at the comic book shop, and, it's just, I have to work with kids again for a little while, which is fine. I am good with it. I'm good with it. Yeah. I need to relearn my vocabulary. I am good with them. They are alive.
Yes.
But the preschool that I am going to work at seems to be a much nicer facility and has much more positive vibe than the preschool I worked at previously.
That's good. And that can make a huge difference, too.
Yes. And there's a really nice teacher's lounge with Wi-Fi, so I'm just going to watch wrestling and edit this podcast. So it will give me a dedicated time to do that every day, so that's a positive thing.
Mm-hmm. I take my lunch break to do my homework every day, and nobody talks to me, and it's actually really nice.
Nobody talks to you anyways. You wear headphones all day.
Well, that's not true. I wear headphones so no one will talk to me, and somehow people are still like, Erin, I need your attention, and I'm like, please kindly exit any field of my vision.
So also a mixed bag, but you know, good and weird, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I went to a viewing party for the UFC fight on Saturday too. Most of that card was...
Didn't he lose?
Yeah, most of that card was garbage, but the two main fights were total surprises. Holly Holm lost the belt, and Conor McGregor lost, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? I thought the exact opposite was going to happen. The Holly Holm Miesha Tate fight was actually really good.
Well, she had it for a hot second.
Yeah. I don't know if she just got lucky with Ronda. I don't know if maybe Miesha
I think
Tate
she probably just trained specifically for Ronda.
Yeah.
And then she was like, maybe she's just not a good all-around fighter.
That's
she was
possible.
I'm a Ronda killer.
I also think part of it is that Ronda just got cocky and that...
Yeah, because she sucks.
Yeah, she's...
she's a...
Oh, yeah. Let's not get into that right now. Anyway, but the Conor McGregor fight with... man, he hit Nate Diaz in the face so hard, and Nate Diaz was like, whatever, I don't give a fuck!
That's nuts.
It was...
UFC is nuts.
Oh, man. Nate Diaz also gave the best post-fight interview I've ever heard, where Joe Rogan was like, what do you have to say, Nate? And he was like, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers!
That's... hilarious.
It was great.
I wish more people were like that.
It was great. I also stayed up till 2 a.m. to watch the post-fight conference because I wanted to see what McGregor was going to be like after having lost. Humble as fuck. I was so surprised. I was like, man, you're coming off as a real gentleman now. And
weird.
It was super weird. And I was like, all right, well,
topsy-turvy opposite day.
Good for you. He was like, yeah, he beat me. He was better than me. I wasn't prepared. This was not a good move to come up to this weight class. And I was like, yeah, good for you, dude. Go back and fight with your already title that you have.
Yeah, right?
Good job. So, yeah, that was pretty cool, too. I guess the mixed bag. Mixed bag week.
Mixed bag. What wrestling shirt are you wearing? Because you remembered to wear one this week.
I did remember to wear... You're just going to taunt me with that.
I know.
24 episodes, and I forgot one time. One time. I'm wearing my Baylor Club shirt. I tried to wear my Becky shirt today, and it was had dirty? A stain on it, so I had to treat it.
What kind of stain?
I think it was blood.
Oh.
I don't know.
How'd you get... Oh, we don't have to talk about that. Gross. I'm wearing my Asuka shirt because I looked at my closet today and I was like, oh, I really don't even remember what shirts I've worn on this.
I don't either.
I need to just start taking a log. Okay. And I know I've not worn this one because this is one of my new-ish ones. If
you're a new listener and you're going to start from the beginning, make a list for us.
Yeah, make a list. Let us know what shirts we have already worn.
I know I've definitely repeated a couple.
Yeah, probably. I'm trying not to, but who cares? Who cares? Happy International Vagina Day.
Yeah, whoop whoop. Not necessarily.
That's true.
Not necessarily vaginas.
Happy let's be inclusive. Happy International Women's Day.
Yes.
That's I'm not being shitty. You were right to call me on that.
Yep. That's all right. It happens.
Just like saying the word vagina.
I know.
But yes, happy International Women's Day.
Yes. Yeah. This turned out to be a pretty good international.
Serendipitous. As some of you may know, because you're listening for the first time, we are now an official member of Cage Side Seats, and we're one of their 2 promoted podcasts. So welcome if you're listening for the first time.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, never do that again. We just lost 50% of our listeners.
I don't give a fuck.
Not surprised, motherfucker.
I'm not surprised.
So that's really exciting. And if you're new, go back. We do have 23 other episodes, so you can go back and listen to them. They are varying degrees of professionalism as we learn how to run a podcast. But they're entertaining.
Mm-hmm. There's more alcohol involved in some than others. You know,
last week was pretty boozy for you.
It was.
I was editing it and I was like, what the fuck?
That episode turned out great, so I'm just gonna say that. What are you? I mean, it worked out pretty well.
It worked out pretty well, I guess. Yeah. So, and if we just seem a little bit off today, Erin is recovering from strep, and I thought I was coming down with a sickness, and nope, my period just surprised me. So,
yep.
That's the type of stuff you can expect from this podcast. We'll talk about wrestling and our periods, and probably about politics. So, strap in.
I voted today. That was part of my mixed bag week. I went early. I couldn't go to work because I was contagious till noon. So I went and I voted today.
Nice.
So, yay. Everybody go vote.
Yes, go vote.
A thing that is happening soon.
Vote, 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 vote. Oh, man, I am weird. I remembered this week.
Yeah, you got it.
You almost like did a spit take. It's news time. You had some stuff you wanted to talk about regarding CTE.
Yes. It was announced this week, or I guess Kevin Nash announced this week, that he's going to be donating his brain and his spinal cord to the CTE Research Center at Boston University and the Concussion Legacy Foundation after he dies, so that they can... I mean, he's had a shitload of concussions. Like,
right.
It's very likely he has CTE, so I'm glad that he's thinking ahead about it. Like, the best thing Kevin Nash has ever done, probably, is to donate his brain to science after he dies. So that was actually, like, it's a very selfless thing to do. So
which is strange.
Very surprising. Yeah, I was like, all right, well, good for you. Getting older, realizing that you can actually help other people. That's fantastic. So I was really happy to hear that. And then very shortly after that, Rob Van Dam also said that he was going to donate his brain.
Less surprising, but awesome.
Well, yeah, exactly. And he also has had a lot of concussions.
I mean, just his style of wrestling and being in ECW.
Exactly.
And that's not surprising.
He said, too, that he's had hundreds of concussions. He said that he doesn't think that he started to just show symptoms of permanent brain damage because he smoked so much marijuana, and he's probably right. Marijuana helps stop Alzheimer's from developing, and that's
then you're going to have a great memory forever.
Right? It's ironic, right? Like, you have terrible short-term memory when you're stoned, but long-term you can, like, live forever, apparently. I don't know. It's great.
You said that a female soccer player also came out and saying that she's... Because I feel like that's something that people don't realize is that, like, soccer players are... Oh, yeah. Because they, like, you know, those balls are going bajillion miles an hour and they donk their heads on them over and over again.
Right, and, like, Abby Wambach, I think, has scored the most goals just off of her head of any woman. And Brandi Chastain, she also came out very shortly after Rob Van Dam did, and said that she was going to donate her brain to the Boston University as well. She is best known for scoring the winning shootout goal in the 1999 World Cup.
Because the women have won more World Cups than the men ever will in the United States, and yet they are just starting to get the credit they deserve for it, and barely. Mm-hmm. Sorry, that's a tangent.
Happy International Women's Day!
Yeah, Happy International Women's Day. The U.S. men's team sucks and always will suck, and the women's team rules, and probably will always rule, and we need to pay attention to them more. Mm-hmm. FIFA! Let's continue. Hard eye roll.
I've been, like, sort of paying attention to the new FIFA presidential elections, and I'm like... Yeah. I'm afraid to get invested because I'm afraid I'm just going to get burned.
It's weirdly, like, the most corrupt organization.
Yes.
I mean, it makes sense. It's, like, the world's most popular sport.
Yeah, that's true. And they're everywhere. And, like, how do you get things done everywhere? You have a lot of corruption. Like, that's just kind of what happens, which is really unfortunate. But I'm glad that some things are changing. Anyway, so she's donating her brain. And she's also trying to get Abby Wambach to, like, agree to donate her brain as well. Because... she has scored, like, 75 goals with her head, I think, which is
And
bananas.
those are just the goals that she's made. Like, she's...
Yeah, exactly.
She's hit balls with her head that haven't gone in.
Yeah, and Brandi Chastain, too, is a soccer coach now for a youth league, and she was like, we don't teach them to do that. Like, it happens every once in a while just because it happens if you have that instinct.
Right.
They don't train them to do that anymore, and I think that's really smart. She also gave a really great interview about how you don't necessarily have to ban head goals at a professional level in soccer because so few people actually make it to that level that it's like by the time that you get there, like, you're much less likely to have that damage, and you're less likely to be exposed over such a long period too, which I think is also a good idea for, like, football, like, bringing back some of the rules until you get to the professional level. I feel like by then people will have different instincts too and will be less likely to do some of that
That's
stuff.
a great point. I would never have thought about that.
So that's really exciting, and I'm glad that all of these athletes are coming out, and it's not just that they're donating their brains, which is great. It's great that they're coming out and publicly saying, like, I did these things, which caused me to get a lot of concussions, and I am lucky enough to have not done anything to hurt anyone yet, so I want to donate my brain. And, like, especially if after this one of them does do something that is reflective of some of the other CTE cases, that, like, we'll already know that we can get some answers on that.
Right. Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's great. It's, like, really good news for concussion research.
There seems to be some more injuries going on, though it also seems that they are coming back kind of quickly. Like,
yes.
Ciampa hurt himself.
Yes, he hurt his shoulder. He and Gargano were tagging in Cleveland against Dash and Dawson. And Dash...
the Revival.
The Revival, whatever.
I kind of like...
I mean, it makes sense for them, I guess. That was kind of what my complaint about them was for so long, that they were so old school. So, like, I guess I'm glad that
They cut a really good promo in NXT this week. I was like, again, you're not my favorites, you're not my demographic, but I can see why people like them.
Yeah, and I liked them at the live show, too. So that,
Agreed.
like, yeah, he took the shatter machine, and I don't know exactly what he did to his shoulder, but he tweeted later that, like, it was okay, and that he was just being cautious. Which is smart, like, don't come back and try and fuck yourself up.
Right.
And, like, Emma came back very quickly after Asuka knocked her the fuck out.
Well, her spinning leg kicks are bananas, and the fact that they don't knock people out every single time is a miracle.
I mean, she, like, basically knocked the Red Menace out once.
Well, the Red Menace, I mean, she didn't deserve it, per se. But it probably put her in her place a little bit. Oh, for you new listeners, we call Eva Marie the Red Menace because we don't like to talk about her.
Yep.
And if there's ever relevant news for her, we devote exactly 60 seconds to her. But we don't have to talk about her this week, so.
Yep, so, whatever.
Well, and then there's rumors that Paige has got, like, concussion problems.
Yeah, because she was out for a while with that concussion and then came back for, like, a hot second, but, like, barely wrestled.
Right, she only wrestled that one match.
Yeah, I think so.
Summer.
Yeah, and then now is just doing backstage stuff and is, like, hardly around. I mean, it does make a lot of sense. She's had a lot of concussions. And she's been wrestling a really long time. I mean, she's only 22.
Yeah, but she's been wrestling since she was like 13.
Right, exactly.
I mean, she's been wrestling literally since she was in the womb because her mom wrestled when she was pregnant.
Yeah.
It's that carny lifestyle, man.
Yeah, seriously. I would really like to see Paige return because I like Paige, and I think Paige is...
I like Paige too. I can see why people... Because I've been reading a lot of internet stuff where people are like, oh, I don't like Paige. I'm glad she's not there. I can see, she comes off as very entitled and bratty. And
yeah.
But, like, when Paige is good or, like, when Paige gets her head out of her butt as a personal, like...
Yes.
I think she can be great.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was going to say. I feel like Paige can be great when she wants to be, but she can be
and her persona, like, is good for that division.
Yeah, but she can be a very lazy wrestler. Like
she can be.
I think that's
she rests on her laurels.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's part of that being entitled and bratty thing is that she just can be kind of a lazy wrestler. And it's like, really? Come on, man. Like, I don't know. Did she just have a match recently? I feel like I was recently annoyed with her. Maybe she did.
You were annoyed with her in that Summer Rae match.
Okay. All right.
I liked that match and you were annoyed with it.
Oh, that's right. Yep, that's right. I remember that now. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to see her again. I'd love to see her be good again.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
I don't know. We'll see. They can't really take a chance, especially since Sting and Bryan just retired for concussions.
We'll see. I'm sure they'll do a push after Mania.
Yeah.
Speaking of voting, Rhino is running for Michigan State Representative.
Yes, he is. And
it is unclear right now whether he's a Republican or a Democrat, but we think that he is running under a Democrat title or an independent title because...
Okay, so he told Vince McMahon that he was running, and he said that Vince didn't ask him what his party was, just wished him luck. And, like, I feel like if he was running as a Republican, he probably would have been like, yeah, Vince was like, you go get him, son.
Yeah.
And just, like, that you have to mention that he didn't ask what your party affiliation was kind of makes me think that you're probably running as a Democrat. And it's Michigan. Like, it seems likely that Rhino of the people would be a Democrat. But I don't know,
especially
totally
like growing up in Detroit and stuff.
Right, exactly. And
it would make sense if he was a Democrat, but I don't know all of his personal views. I don't have like a secret Rhino blog. So who knows?
Not yet.
Yeah, I do like Rhino, so
Yeah. But he's running for...
Selfishly, I want him to share my political views.
Yeah, I know. Me too. He's running for the state representative for his district in Dearborn, Michigan. I read a cool interview with him where he was talking about this, where he was talking about Vince McMahon too. And the interviewer asked him about if his opponents try and use the fact that he's a pro wrestler against him. And he said, I don't think it'll hurt me at all. I think candidates that run against me will try to make fun of it to discredit me so they can win the election, which is understandable. But I want to go out and discuss how we can make the state better, how we can make people's lives easier, and educate the kids. I was like, all right. You seem to have
Rhino.
Right? Like, you seem to really have your head in the right place about this. Like, that's great. Like, I mean, Jesse Ventura did it, and, like, I don't know I can't comment on his run as an actual governor.
Yes.
But, like, people do take you seriously if you promise to make change, and if you can deliver, that's great. Like,
yeah.
I hope that he does well.
I do have a Pope Watch moment.
All right, great.
This is another segment that we do. We introduced it last week. I watch TNA every week, and I have a personal vendetta against the Pope.
Let's do the spitting again.
He's a garbage human, and he talks about women in a really awful way, and in a really blatant way. Like, there are other commentators and other promotions and other things that happen in other promotions that are problematic, and we discuss them as they come up, but, like, it's every week, and it's so blatant, and, like, in my conversations with him, it came very clear that he just does not give a fuck. Yeah. So this week, Maria Kanellis and Gail Kim were having a back and forth, and Gail said something like, I'm not here for the celebrity, I'm just here because I love wrestling, you know, cheap pop, whatever.
Right.
And Maria Kanellis came out and she was like, I like that I'm a celebrity. I was on Celebrity Apprentice, which I didn't know that. I don't watch those shows.
I didn't know that either.
She was like, I was on Celebrity Apprentice. I once posed in Playboy, and I'm the first lady of professional wrestling. That's what she said. All valid things. Whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm a burlesque dancer. I don't give a fuck. You want to be naked? Great.
Yeah. Good for you.
But then later, it wasn't even, like, about that match.
Oh, Christ, I can only imagine.
It was during the Drew Galloway-Mike Bennett match, or Maria Kanellis was around the ring. That's what it was. Okay. Maria Kanellis was around the ring and, you know, doing her normal, watching Mike Bennett, supporting him stuff, and manager stuff, introducing him, doing all the miracle stuff. And Josh Matthews kept calling her Maria Kanellis because that is her name. Mm-hmm. And then the Pope kept saying, she's the first lady of professional wrestling, which is like, that's what she calls herself. And then Josh Matthews was like, wow, all of a sudden a turn for Maria Kanellis. And Pope said, anybody who is in Playboy is in the top of my list. And I was like, oh God, why? Why do you exist? It was also like 20 minutes before the end of the show, and I was like, every week, I think you're not going to say something, and every week, you are a garbage human. I just think, like, Corey Graves will say stuff, like, when Eva Marie comes out, he'll be like, shut up, Tom, Eva's coming to the ring, and he'll talk about her appearance, and he'll talk about that, but it's not the only thing he talks about. He'll talk about how she's, you know, a member, she's a star, she's a member of Total Divas, and
he puts her over.
He puts her over in more ways than just her physical appearance. Like we've said before, these women are beautiful, their bodies are banging, like, it is okay to talk about the way that they look if it is not the only thing that gives them value in your eyes.
And I also feel like the difference between Corey Graves and the Pope is that
it's just like, it's that fine line. Like, if you saw a transcript, you would be like, oh, they're saying similar things.
Right, yeah. Tone,
but
phrasing.
The tone, what did I say? It's about intent, agency, and context.
Yeah.
And both of those, they're so similar, but, like, Corey Graves does it in a professional and positive and good way, and DePope is garbage.
Yeah. Corey Graves, like we're saying, gets the wrestlers over, and DePope gets himself over in the fact that he's attracted to these women. It's never about... That's not true. It's not never about. It's just...
Because we've talked, like, he has had good moments
and he talks about, like...
But it was, like, good moments with, like, Kong. Because he didn't want to fuck Kong.
Right, exactly. And he kind of talks about Gail Kim in that way, too. It's like, okay, so you're not into Gail Kim, so you talk about how she's a powerful wrestler, but, like, all these other women that you want to put your penis inside of, like, that's the only thing that's important about them.
I don't know.
And, like, that for me is the biggest difference.
Also... They're just terrible commentators. Like, it blows my mind that, like, Josh Matthews was at WWE for so long. And frankly, like, I don't blame them for firing him. Like, he is super corny, gets off track all the time, has zero chemistry with anybody. Yeah. Like, because they tried out a bunch of other people after Taz left, and, like, he's just like a piece of wood.
I just don't get it. And, like, I feel like...
And he'll, like, call out his mistakes. And he'll call out the Pope's mistakes. Like, he was setting up for a joke, and the Pope didn't realize it. And he was like, hey, I'm setting you up here. I'm setting you up here. And I was like, why are you talking? It's not funny. It's not interesting. You're just, like, basically pointing out that you guys have zero chemistry.
Yeah, seriously. What the fuck? I feel like, especially
I mute TNA a lot.
Yeah, if you are recording remotely and you're not actually there.
They aren't recording remotely anymore.
Oh, they're not?
I don't think so.
It felt like it when I watched it.
I don't think they are anymore.
Where's the commentary booth then? Because it's not on ringside.
Maybe they are recording remotely.
I feel like
they go back and forth. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Because sometimes they're there.
It just feels like they're still recording remotely. If they're there and it feels like they're recording remotely, that's a big problem.
Yeah. It is a big problem. Anyways, moving on from the Pope Watch and our weekly tangent about the Pope. The Freebirds and Big Boss Man are getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, they are. It's very exciting.
I gotta be honest, I didn't watch wrestling when these people were super big, so I'm like, cool. I mean, I've seen matches and stuff, and like, you know, I don't have any problems with it. People seem excited about it.
Mm-hmm. I like the Boss Man. I think that kind of like the Godfather, the person, the guy that is Charles.
Again, I just wish that they would induct the person, because he had so many personas, and I would say that Papa Shango was like a big one too. Like, why do we have to induct the Godfather? Why can't we just induct the person? I'm sure the person deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why we have to...
Because you can't break kayfabe or whatever. I don't know. It's
but he
very
had
confusing.
other personas.
Anyways,
we've talked about that. Yeah. Moving on.
Anyway, I think Big Boss Man deserves to be there because he was a solid part of that company. He did a lot of good, like, mid-level work, and like he was an essential part of the WWF, and I think it's great that they are starting to induct more of those, like, structural guys. Like, we see those people in Zack Ryder and in The Miz and, like, Ziggler. Like, they're not main event people, but they keep that company going, and so I think it's really great that they're acknowledging that those people exist and have existed for a long time, so that makes me excited. You've never watched any of the Freebird stuff?
I mean, I have here and there.
Okay. I haven't seen a ton of it. I like some of it. I like that old wrestling only because Michael watches it, and like that's kind of how I got into wrestling.
Right.
So I'm excited.
It was your gateway.
Yeah, it was my gateway. And also I know that people have wanted the Freebirds to be inducted for like a super, super long time.
That's great.
It's
sometimes
Dallas,
fan service is good.
Yeah, exactly. It makes a lot of sense. They're in Dallas. They want to sell tickets. Like I'm glad that they're doing it. And I also like to Michael P.S. Hayes was on Ric Flair's podcast and was talking about how he was being inducted, and so they were asking him about his roles backstage and like what exactly I mean they know that, but like as a fan service thing,
right?
We're asking about it, and like he's an essential part of the booking team, and like puts together all of these like great big matches. Like he did the first Taker Shawn Michaels match.
Right.
Like he's very smart and like knows how this business works super well and is very involved in it. And he was talking about planning WrestleMania this year, and he said that he thinks that the divas, the women's triple threat match, is gonna steal the show.
Oh, we're talking about that now.
Yeah.
You just jumped ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Is that not what's
no,
not
it's
next
what's
on the
next.
list?
I thought we were still talking about the Freebirds.
Segue.
That wasn't a segue. That's just you starting to talk about the different
No, because it was Michael P.S. Hayes. Michael P.S. Hayes is in the Freebirds.
Oh, okay.
You doofus!
I was like, what are we talking about right now?
Oh my god. So you have no idea who the Freebirds are?
No, I know who they are, but like, just like if somebody were like, oh, name every character in the Rolling Stones.
Okay, yeah, that's
or
fair.
Character, person. You can name 2 people in the Rolling Stones. I can name no Freebirds, but I know that they were a thing. Get off my back!
Okay.
I was born in 1989. Step off!
Okay. I mean, you know who Michael P.S. Hayes is?
Yes, I know who he is.
You just didn't realize that he was part of that
Yes.
that like vague idea of a group in your
Dear
mind.
Aaron, I am sorry I'm not an
No,
encyclopedia.
it's just funny. When we went over the show notes, I thought that was clear. That's why I was talking about that.
Whatever, you can't say Tommaso Ciampa, so...
That's true, I cannot pronounce his name to save my life.
Anyways, the big news that was announced last week is that the Divas title match is going to be a 3-way between Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha, which is what we all wanted because we didn't want Becky to get kicked out of the picture.
Right.
I fucking want Becky to win. I'm
I
so hot
too.
for Becky. I love Sasha. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely adore Sasha. But in that, when they built up Becky in that match, the like back and forth between Charlotte and the video packages they did for her, and the just how well Becky immediately transitioned to the main roster. And I think it was because like in NXT, Charlotte and Sasha were way more defined than Becky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Becky, a lot of Becky's definition as a character started to like coagulate and on the main roster.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I'm just so hot for Becky right now.
Yeah,
I'm,
she
like,
has like
flipping.
massive appeal.
I want to do like backflips every time I think about how amazing and wonderful she is.
And they need...
even in the like backstage segments between Sasha and Becky, like Sasha's still doing a great job, but I'm like, Becky, you're just crushing
Yeah,
it.
she's so good. She's so good at that character. She like finally figured it out and like found that sweet spot, and she knows what she's doing. And they need baby faces,
right? And she's a good baby face. She's not
a
just
very
like
good baby
a
face.
cheap pop baby face or a like I'm an underdog baby face. Like that's not the vibe. She's just like a good guy.
Did you follow her on Twitter?
I do, but, like, I follow, like, a billion people on Twitter, so
okay.
I miss a lot of tweets.
Oh, okay. She tweeted out after the UFC fight, like, a ridiculous pun about Conor McGregor and Nate
I love
Diaz,
Becky and her dumb puns.
It was like, I cannot believe it, and Nate thing can happen. I was like, oh my god, Becky. Dad joke city, what is happening? Like, that's a huge babyface move, like, dad jokes. Like, okay, Becky, all right.
I love Becky's stupid puns.
I do too,
She's the
I love it.
bestest.
She commits to it. It's because she commits to them, and I'm like, all right, you nailed this.
Absolutely.
Yep, she's great.
And it's clear that, like, you know, she'll say the things that they write for her, but in the same way that I think Sasha does, like, they put, even if they're saying it word for word, they, like, put their own actual personality and character onto it. So
absolutely.
It becomes theirs in a way that somebody like Roman Reigns does not. He just, like, or fucking Ryback.
Or fucking
does not.
Charlotte doesn't. Like, she's gotten better in-ring talk because she's allowed to, I mean, that's just her improv
heel
thing.
stuff.
But her backstage promo stuff still feels very, like, rigid.
Yeah.
It's better,
but I mean,
but it's
I also
not...
feel like if you literally had your dad over your shoulder all the time, you would feel weird.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like, I mean, if my dad was just hanging out with me all the time, I feel like I would maybe not, like, let go all the time.
Yeah.
Not that she's gonna, like, be weird or anything, but, you know, you just feel like somebody's literally watching you all the time. That's weird.
Yeah.
I just want Ric Flair to go home after WrestleMania. That's my personal feelings.
I would really like, for the triple threat match, here's my fantasy booking. I would really like for Becky to pin Charlotte so that she and Sasha can have a thing, and Charlotte can be like, I want my belt back! And then Nikki Bella will come back and be like, we can have the finish to our campaign while Sasha and Becky have a campaign.
That would be nice.
That can establish who the number one contender is. Like, that would be super nice. And, like, then we can have a good 2 lady matches instead of just, like, 1 good lady match and 1, like, lady match.
Whatever. Well, we're done with the news. Let's talk about some wrestling.
All right.
You were sick all week, so you did not watch
like nothing.
TNA, ROH, or NXT.
No,
So
I
I'm
did
just
not.
going to hit on, like, a couple things real quick. Like, usually we will go through and talk about a ton of stuff, but I'm
But I
just
had
going to go
strep,
through.
so-
You had strep and had school and whatever.
Yeah.
I literally watched most of the stuff today. So, the 3 things I want to talk about in TNA, I'm starting to really get over on Decay. I think it's not my, like, favorite type of thing. I'm not, like, a creepy horror girl or whatever, but there's just such good cohesion between the group. They are this weird, like, amorphous, like, there doesn't seem to be, like, an actual leader. They totally seem just, like, they seem like a team, and they're effective, and, you know, I've never liked Abyss, but this works for me.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, I like them as a faction a lot. Like, even just watching them, like, 2 weeks in a row, I was like, man, I'm already coming around on this. And, like, I like the horror thing a little. Not usually I'm surprised that I like in wrestling in this context, but they're great.
Yeah.
They're a good team.
Abyss had a match with Jimmy Havoc, and, like, I've only seen a few Jimmy Havoc things, and it's mostly, like, crazy stuff where he just, like, you know, cuts his face over.
He's hardcore.
Yeah, but it wasn't, like, a super technical match, but it was, like, a, you know, it was a hardcore 14A match, and there was barbed wire and stuff, and it was fun.
Oh, okay.
But mostly what I liked about it is the interactions between, because it was just between Jimmy Havoc and Abyss, but, like, the interactions between Crazy Steve and Rosemary and, like, you know, doing the, like, outside player type stuff was really good. The Knockouts division is clearly, like, in some kind of transition because they don't have tons of people, but I like what they're doing. They're trying to set up a feud between Gail and Maria. My only problem with that is Gail is a great wrestler. Gail is garbage on the mic, which is some people some people are just not great on it. She goes for, you know, cheap pops and is very stiff on the mic. But whatever, everyone loves her because she's great, and she, like, is the face of that division and helped build that division, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. That's totally fine. It's just she's stiff, and that's something that you have to accept and move past.
Right.
Which it really shows when she talks to Maria, because Maria owns every mic she touches.
Absolutely.
So they're setting up a feud with them, but they're also setting up, because that one is like, someday it will happen, because Maria's like, I'm not going to wrestle you. I'm not going to wrestle you. That's below me, beneath me, whatever. They're setting up an actual fight between Jade and Gail, and it's looking like Jade is going to go for the title, which we talked about last week. I liked their chemistry together when they had the 5 minutes in Lethal Lockdown before the other wrestlers came in. I really dig their chemistry. So I'm looking forward to an actual one-on-one match with them.
Yeah, I think that'll be really good.
For the belt. And obviously they've wrestled before. I just mean for the belt.
Right, now in this context.
And then EC3 beat the shit out of Rockstar Spud.
Well, all right. That's
in
great, I guess.
Not an actual wrestling match. He was just like, Dixie was like, I'm not even going to put a ref in there. Whatever, he's gonna kill you. There is this weird trend happening in TNA. It's happened for the past 3 weeks, and it's with a bunch of different wrestlers, where they just come out in like jeans and belts and like no shirt, like a weird like jean model ad. It's super strange. I don't know what's going on. I guess it's supposed to show that's like, I'm not geared up for wrestling. Yeah. But I'm still gonna fight.
I was backstage and I just ripped my shirt. I would rather
ripped my shirt off.
I would rather watch you rip your shirt off on the way to the ring.
It's just this weird, like, I just wander around backstage in my jeans with no shirt off. Because Ethan Carter III did it this week. Jesse Goddard did it the week before. Right. Like, it's just this weird, like, new, like, fashion thing that's happening in TNA that I'm confused by.
It's very weird.
Obviously, there are other things that happen, and it was a pretty solid show.
Yeah.
I think TNA lately has been, like, a solid show. There was more talking than usual. There's a big Kurt Angle circle jerk at the beginning. It was him and Bobby Roode, and...
Is he almost done?
He's almost done. But it was him and Bobby Roode, they fought, and then James Storm got in with the talking, and then the Wolves got in the talking. Everyone's like, oh, we love you, Kurt. You're the bestest. Oh, no, you're the best. No, I want to see you guys fight. No, I want to see you guys fight. And I was like, I get it. I like every person in this room. Can we stop talking? So that's how TNA went. And we already talked about the Pope, so we'll never do it again.
All right, great.
In ROH, the one thing I really want to talk about, they're having their top prospect semifinal. And just to clarify, I watch whatever weekly is on the ROH website, so I know that they've had another episode, which will come out on Thursday on their website. But I'm just caught up into whatever they release on their website.
Yeah, I don't have comment. Let's get real.
Yeah, I don't have fucking comment. But their top prospect, the one thing that I really want to talk about is the wrestler Leo Rush. He's this like...
Yeah, you're super hot for him right now.
I just really like him. He's got the like underdog fire to him that I really like. I've seen him wrestle twice on ROH now. He's like for being such a young wrestler, he's got a great amount of like talent. He's super fast. He's high risk. He tells a good story in the ring. He has some pretty decent mic skills. Like, even if he doesn't win, quote unquote, top prospect, I think he'll stick around like in ROH because he is a young talent that I am excited to watch like grow. I think he's really great.
Oh my, I just looked him up.
Yeah.
He's handsome.
Let me make sure we're talking about.
Is that the...
Yes.
Yeah.
He's really great. So I'm pretty hot for him.
He's a great look.
Yeah, he has a great look.
He's a great look and he's talented. All right, sweet. I'm in.
Super talented. And he's he's super young, so that's exciting that you're already like this good when you're young. Like, right. Obviously he's rough around the edges here and there, but like I'm really excited to watch him develop further.
Is he British?
I don't think so. No.
He's all that's coming up are British wrestling articles. That's really weird.
Did you spell Leo Lio?
No, I didn't. Oh, but they're all coming up as Lio.
That's okay. Well,
so yes.
Well, I'm sure he wrestled overseas and stuff. He's not
I'm sure
like totally new. It's just like, you know, because in the top prospects.
No, I know. I don't know shit about English wrestling, so that's why I was like, I don't know. Maybe he's a thing over there. I have absolutely no idea. It's like a whole other world over there.
Yeah, we can only watch so much. We already watch a fuck ton.
Good God.
And then there was Adam Cole and Matt Sydal.
I watched the end of that match because I was over here watching it.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta watch this. I'm 5 minutes from the end. It was a great match because they put on good matches. I was really surprised that Adam Cole didn't win. It seems like he's losing a lot lately, but he's still putting on really good technical matches. So I think they're like just booking him in a way that he's gonna have like a big like rah comeback because you know he just lost part of the kingdom because Maria and Mike went to TNA. Oh, side note, remember weeks ago how I talked about how Mike Bennett like laid the smackdown on some really ignorant like Twitter followers? You should absolutely follow him if you don't, because he continuously lays the smackdown on people, and he's
great,
super political in a way that I really appreciate.
Fantastic. On it.
I really, really love following him. Yeah, it was a good episode. It was a standard ROH episode, but standard being like that it's normally really good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then in NXT, which I can't believe you didn't watch.
I know. I'm sorry. I was so sick. It just it's very disappointing. I know the thing that you're most excited about.
Yes,
though.
well, I'm saving that because we gotta talk about other things.
Okay.
Emma and Santana Garrett wrestled.
Yes.
I think Santana Garrett has a contract in a way that Leva Bates has a contract, where she's an independent.
Used to have a contract.
Or used to have a contract. That she's a decently well-known independent wrestler who shows up
is freelancing.
To freelance and does enhancement talent. But I really, really like her, and her and Emma have great chemistry. Also, I'm finding. I like this in other sports too. I like really vocal wrestlers. Like, I love when Xavier Woods wrestles because he hi-ya screams when he kicks. And she does that too. She has a lot of like guttural fight like yelling, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And her and Emma have great chemistry, and like her style with the like yelling with Emma's style of being like a heel was like really interesting. Mm-hmm. I really, really liked it. And also, like, we talk about how we've come around a lot on Dana Brooke. I like Dana Brooke as a manager outside just shit-talking. It's very funny to me.
Yeah, she's really good at it.
She's a good shit-talker. The Neville Finn match was really good. I know you're going to watch it. It was super good. It was just what it needed to be. Like, we all knew Finn wasn't going to lose the belt, but there was a couple near falls. It was really well-paced. Started off pretty slow because it was like a 17-minute match.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was well-paced. They both hit, like, some great spots. It was fun. We sometimes talk about by the end of the show, we're like, well, we've seen so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the matches, you get so invested. I feel like when I watch NXT, I'm so invested in everything that happens that sometimes I get like a little burnout. But this one, I was like, oh, I'm present for this match. It was good storytelling, even though I knew that Neville was not gonna.
Yeah, like I'm gonna watch it not because I want to know who's going to win, but because I like wrestling and I want to watch good.
It's a good wrestling match,
right?
There was one moment, though, in the beginning, Neville was like, he didn't wear his mouth guard. And in the beginning, when they were like sizing each other up, Neville was chewing gum. And I was like, why are you chewing gum? And I was like, you know what? I know you're chewing gum because you think it makes you look badass and cool. You know what makes you look less badass? The fact that I know you have to swallow that gum before you start to wrestle. That makes me think that you're a dork.
I can't believe he didn't wear his mouth guard on NXT,
maybe,
of all places where his teeth were knocked out.
I don't know. I think maybe he's like, it's Finn. I can trust Finn. I don't need to wear my mouth guard.
Yeah, maybe. I guess.
I don't know. I didn't see him put it in. And I didn't see him do his big old smile. So, mouth guard smile. And then the bestest/worstest thing happened. My wrestling boyfriend premiered on NXT, and everyone freaked out, and he was the best, and he was like, what's my name? We're like, Austin Aries, oh my god, he's the best. Oh. And he had a great introduction from Regal. He's like one of the hottest free agents, and Regal's so excited. We're all so excited because Austin Aries, he's the best. And then fucking Borin Snorin comes out and gets the drop on him. Kind of kicks his ass too, because like he got the drop on him.
Yeah.
And Regal is standing in the ring just pissed as fuck. And then
that's kind of like the culmination to the Baron.
Right,
okay.
It is. So Baron, then this is the thing that I think is really funny, especially since we saw the NXT live show in Chicago where Baron Corbin was doing that weird stuff with Apollo Crews' shirt.
Yeah.
He was like trying to have like a heel move with his shirt. We did something very similar, and I want to know what Baron Corbin's like obsession with other men's shirts are, because he like ripped Austin Aries' shirt off and then like held it up like, ooh, look, I got this shirt. And then
like you don't take your shirt off for a living.
Right. And he's like, look, I got it. And then he threw it at Regal, which was great because it like hit Regal in the face and Regal didn't move, and everyone was like, ooh. But it was just a moment where I was like, because at the NXT show, or the NXT live show in Chicago, it was a three-way between Finn Balor, Apollo Crews, and Baron Corbin. Yeah. Baron Corbin was taking a Roman nap for a while, and so while those two were wrestling, he, like, woke up and then just picked up Apollo's shirt and then, like, tried to distract Apollo by being like, look, I got your shirt. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's, like, a weird move. I think Baron Corbin thinks it's a good heel move, and it's weird.
It's weird because he did it at the 1 o'clock show for Chicago, too, only it was just Baron and Apollo wrestling each other, and it worked. Like they had this exchange where they like ripped each other's shirts up, but I feel like that got a good pop, and Baron was like, I'm gonna keep doing this
forever,
and it just like it didn't work literally
in my
hours
head.
later.
I had a vision of him as like a bounty hunter, where like bounty hunters have like, you know how they have in movies where they have like necklaces of like ears of all the people that they like killed. I just had a big picture of him having like a necklace of a bunch of t-shirts. like an idiot with his weird belly button. So he ruined my wrestling boyfriend's entrance. But I guess the good news about that is that now I get to watch my wrestling boyfriend beat up one of my least favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, maybe
because at the end he kind of Austin Aries kind of like popped up, and the refs were like, "You can't go after him. We have to make sure you're okay." And he was like, "Boom, I'm gonna get you."
I wonder if maybe Austin Aries will be the first person to kick out of the End of Days. That would be very satisfying, and would be like a.
Didn't Joe kick out of one?
No one's kicked out of the End of Days. It's the only thing that.
Are you sure?
I
feel like Samoa Joe did.
I think Joe might have. I think that Samoa Joe might have done the rope grab or rolled out, but I'm positive no one has kicked out of the End of Days.
I'm gonna be furious if Baron Corbin beats Austin Aries. I will burn a building down.
Why do they keep pushing him? I don't
He
get
is
it.
the male Eva Marie.
He is a better wrestler than Eva Marie.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's still the male Eva Marie. Like in that
the male
promotion.
Eva Marie is Roman Reigns.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, okay, Roman is a better wrestler than I will say
has
to
a better look and is overall better than Baron Corbin.
To Born Storen's credit, he has gotten better as a wrestler. I just hate his gimmick so much, and I think that he seems like a total bag of dicks. Like, I do not want anything to do with him.
He does seem like a bag of dicks. Well, let's move on to a promotion that you did watch. Let's talk about Lucha.
You didn't totally catch me off guard that time.
No,
I'm prepared for it. You gotta come out with something new now. So we started this week with a couple of promos. I really like the way that they're doing, or that they have been doing, the King Cuerno Phoenix match, where Katrina keeps using it as like a weapon against Cuerno almost.
Yeah.
And
well, he's also like kind of betraying her because they had a deal, and he's like, "No, fuck you. I want to cash in my gift of the gods."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, well, sorry, you have to fight Phoenix again."
Yeah, and I like, too, that they are able to keep booking the same matches over and over, sort of, but it still feels fresh, and it still feels like...
Well, because it's not the same match. It was a match for the title, and then it was a last man standing, and now it's a ladder. Like, they are...
Well, I mean, the two of them.
Yes. But I'm saying, but that's a way to keep it fresh, is by, like, adding different elements to it.
Yeah, and so I was thinking about how I like the way that they handle it and, like, make it a part of the story that they have to keep doing this over and over, as opposed to the way that WWE does it, where they just, like... It just happens forever, and, like, we'll just wrestle endlessly until we get to this finale. Like, I wish that it was, like, with...
Even Stevens.
Yeah, I wish that it was more like with Lucha, where they're like, no, we're doing this on purpose, and it's contributing to the overall story, that this feels like it's happening over and over and over again. Like, I just thought that they did a really good job with that.
I agree.
And then we had a promo from Katrina, Queen of the Temple.
Queen
Power
of
bangs
the
forever.
world.
Queen of the world.
Power bangs. Queen of the bangs, for sure.
Absolutely. Queen of our hearts. She had a great promo with Mill. We were talking before we started recording about...
She had a great promo with Mill, and I do think that Mill, you know, it was cool to see him talk. He does sound a little bit like a dork when he talks.
A little bit.
Because he's so big and menacing, and then he's kind of, you know... I was like, oh, you don't have a scary voice. I wish that they had treated your voice a little bit.
Yeah.
So you have a scary voice.
I wish he had a Braun Strowman voice.
Yeah, but
Braun Strowman gets that voice with that crazy baby face.
Yeah, so I guess you either have a manly, scary face or a baby face, and the voice just flip-flops.
Yep. It's a total crapshoot, I guess.
What are you going to say?
I forgot that his name was Pascual Mendoza, so when she dropped that, I was just like, scandalized. Because I watched the first season of Lucha in like a day and a half. It was like a fever dream. I barely remember most of it. I very clearly remember
because I was
Ultima
like,
Lucha.
You have to watch it, you have to watch it, you have to watch it. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, and so I just like powered through it the week before Ultima Lucha started, and then watched Ultima Lucha in like real time. And so I very clearly remember that, and everything else was just like... It all happened so long ago that I barely remember it.
She's the only, like, I think other people know, because they showed us the backstory of him getting trapped and all that stuff.
So is he part of one of the 7 families?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because he was supposed to die in an earthquake, and then she helped him and resurrected him and has basically been using him as her, like, witchy avatar.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But in a way where, like, he thinks that he has the control, but she clearly has the control.
Right.
Like, which came full circle, because at the end, she was like, you just needed a little motivation. Mm-hmm. I manipulate the shit out of you all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I love, too, that he said, if I could bury you, I would. And she was just like, bitch, please. I just magicked the fuck out of there.
Bitch, please.
Okay, we also had the return of Ian Hodgkinson's baby glasses this week. You were
He
totally
does have
right.
baby
You were
glasses.
totally right. I noticed it this week, and I didn't when I had not before. But
The width of glasses are a thing, and they are too small for his face.
They are too small for his face. They do, I think, contribute to that like contrast between
like
Ian and
Vampiro.
Yeah, exactly. So
and
I
he
thought
doesn't
that
look
worked.
bad. I was just like, bro,
Yeah.
You look nice
He
in
looks
glasses.
he looks very nice lately.
Just
but-
maybe get bigger glasses.
Yeah, right? Like, maybe control for the size of your maybe larger than average head. Like, it's cool, dude. Go to Warby Parker. They'll measure that shit out for you.
They'll measure your face.
Mhm, super easy. So we had Sexy Star versus Cobra Moon. How did you feel about this match?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we were really nice to Cobra Moon the first time she premiered.
Oh my god. I regret
like,
being nice
not-
to her. She's not very good.
She's not. Well, I think with Lucha, we're so used to everything being great that we're like, when something isn't great, we're like, oh, it's fine. Mm-hmm. My biggest problem with her is that she fundamentally does not understand how a snake moves.
Why is she wearing so many feathers? I don't understand.
That doesn't bother me because in like
She's a snake.
no, but in Aztec culture, like a lot of like the family like things, like they have. I think the feathers are an homage to like a particular art style that like they're trying to bring in the Aztec temple. That doesn't bother me. Whatever.
Okay, now that you say that makes a lot more sense.
That doesn't bother me
but, like,
one iota. And the fact that she's blue doesn't bother me because, like, snakes...
the blue doesn't bother me
Snakes are
either.
different colors. The thing that bothers me is that she does not understand how a snake moves. Like, I mean, this is a not fair comparison, but, like, Randy Orton moves like how a snake would move if a snake were a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
When, you know...
He slithers.
Here's my theater background. When you are, like... moving as an animal, you also have to still move as a human. And I feel like she's trying too much to actually just be a snake instead of being like, if I were a snake as a human, how would I move?
Right. It just...
Her slithering is not great. It's very clunky and weird.
It's really awkward.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I just don't really care for her at all.
And
it's very weird.
It was clear in this match that Sexy Star slowed down a lot and was trying to put Cobra Moon over and was trying to, like, work with her. Because we know that Sexy Star can wrestle, like, a champ. Like, she can fucking wrestle.
And I will say, too, that, like, of the women in the company, Sexy Star is not the best of the women of the company because there aren't that many up until this point.
Right.
But, like...
And also, Ivelisse is clearly the best wrestler.
Yeah, and we haven't seen her in fucking weeks. Where's that bitch at? Like, I miss Ivelisse. I want her to come back.
She'll be around. They are smart and they don't have the same people on every week. And
they
that's
want us
one
to
of the
pine
things,
for her, and it's working. I
That's
want
one
her
of
to
the
come
things I
back.
like about Lucha.
I know that. But, like, also, was this our first lady versus lady match in the temple?
No, it was our first lady versus lady match of the season.
Oh, okay. Was there one in the first season?
Yeah, there were a couple.
Oh, okay. I don't... Man, it is just a fever dream. I don't remember fucking anything.
No, there were a couple. Ivelisse and Sexy Star definitely wrestled.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Duh. I knew that. Okay. Never mind that.
But it did kind of work because Sexy Star was clearly, like, distracted and, like, you know, still kind of possessed and stuff. Like, the clunkiness kind of worked that way. It was just, like... It was not the greatest of matches.
Yeah, the commentary had a really
I do
great...
like this weird team up of Willie Mack and Sexy Star, though. I like
Yeah,
that they're
I'm
like
totally into that.
They're like a Scooby-Doo gang.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like them a lot.
That's a great way to describe them. Yeah, I like that a lot.
That is definitely the vibe I get from them.
There was a really great line from commentary, too. I can't remember which one said it, but they said that they described this match as evil and ancient versus heroic and new, and that Sexy Star was the heroic and new. And I like that. I think that's a really great way to describe both of them and how they're setting both those characters
right,
up.
at least character-wise. I am hoping Cobra Moon gets better. It could also there could also be many factors. Like, I don't know her as an independent wrestler, but like she didn't used to wrestle in a mask, and she, you know, didn't used to have to wrestle on television, and that stuff can get in your mind. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I am not ready to write Cobra Moon off. I am just little disappointed so far.
And hey, she made Sexy Star tap for the first time, which I thought that was a good move on Lucha's part to use that for Cobra Moon if they want to put her over. That like this is the first time that Sexy Star has tapped out. Like, good for them.
It would be, I don't know what they're gonna do, but it would be cool if Cobra Moon becomes like maybe a faction of like ancient and evil people. Like, I think that would work really well for her. Or
maybe the Moth Lady will come in and be associated with Cobra Moon. I'd be into that.
I want to know what this Moth Lady looks like.
Right, exactly.
Marty is the creepiest thing in the world. Like, I know he's supposed to be, but he's doing a great job.
If you'd like to know what women think about when they're worried that men follow them down alleys, you can look at Marty the Moth and know what I think in my mind is following me in an alley, because he just like epitomizes creep to me. He's very good at it. I understand that human being is not that person, but that character is super creepy.
I mean, and if you look at how he looked and how he dressed and how his hair was when he first was introduced versus now, like, there's been an evolution. Like, he looks like, before he was just like a wide-eyed, bushy-tailed fan who wanted to be in the temple, and now he's like a fucking weirdo.
Wrestling ruined him.
A wrestling weirdo. We got another spot from our BFF, Famous B.
Yeah, we did.
I suggest you guys all call that number if you haven't listened to our episode. Call whatever 487.
I wrote it down. Yep, 423 get fame.
Call it. It's worth your time.
Yeah, it is definitely worth your time.
I loved how they used that commercial. So, it's the commercial. We obviously know it's part of Lucha, but then it went into a Rey Mysterio and the young Azteca training. I love those spots. I also love how they are giving us Rey Mysterio, but not giving us Rey Mysterio.
Right, exactly.
Lucha is like a great teasing promotion.
I also think that it's really smart that because the people who are there in the temple don't see that backstage stuff. Right. So when he actually shows up there, people are gonna flip out. It's
a good way to have people come to your show and then also want to watch it on TV too.
Right, exactly.
Double. And then we had Pentagon and Puma wrestling again. We've talked about how much we love them both in the ring together.
Yeah, they're great.
Similar but very different styles. Like, Puma is
he's fast. They're both so fast.
High flying, and Pentagon is fast, but he's like more grounded and scary.
Yeah.
And fucking Mill came in and fucked their shit up.
Oh my god, it was
ripped his cast off, and he was like, "I'm not hurt anymore. I'm coming."
That cast was super cool too. Yeah. The like leather. Super cool. I was super into that. And then he was like, "I'm a badass."
Yeah.
It was great.
And they're gonna have a 3-way, which is super exciting.
Yeah. I
know that it's not called a 3-way.
It's a triple threat.
I know. I just call it 3-way and make it sound super sexual. When we were talking about the women earlier, I was like, I'm not even going to address it. I know it's a triple threat. I just call it 3-way, I guess. I don't know. I'm acknowledging it, and we're moving on past it.
All right, that's fine. In my notes, I wrote down triple threat, ? And then in all capital letters, double flat niner, Jesus fucking Christ, and then right after that, triple threat, 2 exclamation points. I'm very excited about that.
I'm very excited too. Great. And I think they let Mill be in the throne just long enough. Like, if he was there the whole season, I think people would be like, ugh, this guy.
Right. I also feel like they're setting up, too, that he was giving Katrina that sass that, like, she might be okay with him losing the belt as a, like, you will do what I say. You understand that I am in charge. Yeah. And I'm into that.
Doesn't say Mill on the door. It says Katrina. Okay?
That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we ended with the Phoenix Cuerno ladder match.
Yes. First of all, I'm glad that Vampiro pointed out how disgusting those ladders were, because they were disgusting. They were super disgusting.
But the temple's grimy.
I know, and that's what Vampiro said. He was like, these aren't like normal ladders. Like, these are from the temple. There are rats and rodents and shit. And I was like, it looks like there are rats and rodents and shit all over these ladders. They were like, oh, your faces are going to touch things. Ew. It was very gross. So I'm glad that they at least addressed that. That was nice. I don't know. How did you feel about this match? And then I'm going to say some things.
I thought it was good. I think it was pretty standard for them. I think their last man standing match was the strongest of the matches that they've had. I think it's a hard match to top. I think King Cuerno and Phoenix do a really good job of using the temple when they wrestle. That's what I think.
I agree. I think they do a good job of using the temple. I realized halfway through this match, the reason... Okay, so I at first, for the first half, was like, this is so awkward. Why does Cuerno keep, like, moving around the ring and not actually doing all of this stuff? And, like, they're like, he's planning, he's doing all this stuff, and he, like, picked up the ladder and, like, crouched like he was gonna hit him with it for, like, 15 seconds and then just, like, put it down and walked away. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? And then I realized halfway through the match, he was setting all this stuff up, which he didn't use all the stuff that he set up, which was sort of weird. But I felt like...
Well, they also edit it down.
Well, yeah, they edited it down. And also I feel like that helped establish later that idea that, like, I'm not out here just to win this belt. I'm out here because I want Katrina to let me go, so I'm gonna fucking kill you. And how do I do that? And how do I actually do that? And it took me a while to really click into that as the match went, and then once I realized that's what was happening, I enjoyed it a lot more. So I liked it, but I agree, I think their last man standing match was better.
Agreed.
But by the end of it, I really liked it. And I liked when they, like, I knew they were both gonna climb to the top and wind up hanging from that weird fucking thing.
It was cool, though.
It looked great. And when they fell...
Kadunk.
Oh my goodness. Shockingly loud. I know some of that is sound editing, but, like, that is part of why Lucha's good. It's not
sometimes
a live
editing
show.
Is good.
It's a television program, and they do a really good job of that, like they did with the lead pipe. Like, that shit is effective. Like,
For real.
We've accepted that this is part of the kayfabe, and so great, use it. We understand that this is an acceptable thing. Like, they edit the matches. Like, that's fine.
Right. The finishing move that Phoenix did was great, too. That was doing the flip with Cuerno into the table. Oh,
yes. When they, like, Cuerno set up the table and then Phoenix
Cuerno
stood
should
on
never
top of
set
it.
things up because Phoenix always wins.
Absolutely. I agree. I really liked how he, like, how he used the table as his platform to do this. He used it as like a springboard, and then he crawled over the ref to go up the ladder. Like, I really liked that. I thought that like, it looked really good. Yeah, it was very effective.
And it was also like, oh, that motherfucker's not getting back up. Like, that made it, because with a ladder match or last man standing match, there's a lot of like, will he, won't he, will he, won't he? And like, it's very important for the last part to be like, no, he won't.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think in both those matches, they did a really good job of that.
Yeah.
So my recording cut off right after that. Was there another segment after that?
I don't know. My recording also cut off after that. So,
well, let's just pretend that that's the end.
Okay. Oh, I had a question for you too. So you talked before when you tried to watch New Japan about how the crowd can be very quiet. I noticed this week that the crowd in Lucha shushes each other for certain stuff and are also very
I never
quiet.
Noticed that.
I was wondering if maybe it's just because you started from the beginning and are really invested in all the characters that you tune out the audience.
Yeah,
because
I started with Lucha, like, I watched the premiere of it.
Right, yeah.
Super serendipitously. It was like a month after I got into wrestling, and I just put in wrestling in my DVR, and that came up, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I'll watch this show. I thought it was an established show, and then I watched it, and I was like, oh, no, this is a premiere.
Yeah.
So I've actually watched it from the very beginning, so I am super invested in the show.
Yeah.
I feel like a member of the secret club, even though it's not secret
You're an
anymore.
original believer.
I'm an original believer. No big deal. I'm an original Lucha fan, and I'm an original RuPaul's Drag Race fan. No big deal. I have a lot of street cred. And I'm an original New Day fan.
Yeah.
I have so much street cred.
So much street cred. But I was wondering, I think maybe that I feel like if you watch New Japan and kind of keep that...
Very quiet, though.
Well, yeah, but like, they were very quiet this week in Lucha, and I think
maybe it's also
just
because I can hear the commentary and understand the commentary, too, that it doesn't feel as quiet. Whereas when I'm watching New Japan, the audience is very quiet. The editing is a little strange because of, like, the cutting music out and stuff, which I understand. I understand rights and royalties. But, like, unless it's a big event that they have Matt Stryker or an American commentator, I'm not a part of the commentary, so I think that might be why Lucha doesn't seem as quiet to me, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, see, I'm still trying to watch New Japan. I'm just watching matches by matches.
I know, that's fine. That's a good way to get started.
Okay.
Sexy style.
Let's talk about Raw, baby. Let's talk about you and your SARS mask. Let's talk about Raw. I was like, where am I going with this? So Raw was in Chicago last night, and we live in Chicago.
We do live in Chicago.
I did not go because Aaron has functionally replaced me.
You need to stop saying that.
Also, I had a really important rehearsal, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
This is a side tangent, but so our Big Plan 9 show is coming up, and me, Robbie, well, I guess I can say his real name because he's been a guest on this podcast a bunch. Me, Bobby, Cully Candy Kiss, and Marie Curiosity are doing a Gotham City Sirens number where he's Batman, I'm Harley.
Yesterday? Cool.
Marie is Ivy, and Cully is Catwoman, and we have it all blocked out, and there's lots of fights and lifts and crazy shit.
I'm really excited to see it.
There's a lot of me humping a hammer, so.
Right.
Hey, what do you think Harley does with a hammer? She hits people in the face, and then she humps it.
Do I look surprised by this? I know that that's what happens.
It's turning out really, really, we just haven't beat it out. We have to clean it up, but it's going to be really fun.
I'm super excited.
Really excited about it. So that's what I was doing during Raw. And, obviously Bobby is a really big wrestling fan too, and he was like, do you want spoilers? I'm getting tweets and stuff. And he was like, Sammy's there. This is happening. And I was like, let's focus. I'll watch Raw and you'll watch Raw later. We have to focus. But you were there. How was it?
There.
From the TV, it sounded like everyone there. I'm surprised you have a voice. It was bananas loud.
It was so loud.
Through the whole thing.
Oh my god, it was so loud. So I went
Not even just Chicago can be a heel town and booing and stuff. I mean, just loud.
Yeah. So I went with Mike, and we had great seats. Really great seats.
I did not, for the record, see you. I looked.
Okay. Michael said he saw me, and I was like, I think you're crazy. But maybe he was just looking harder for me.
When we went to Extreme Rules, I saw my sign.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw my sign on Total Divas.
I feel like if you know what you're looking for, it's and he knew what I was wearing. I think that's fair. We were in the side of the ring that's on the commentary desk. And
nice.
Okay, so you know how it's set up that there's the floor
flat
seats
and then up.
Yeah, and then there's the upside. We were in the first row of that section.
Wow.
Right at the front. We were walking in, and I didn't know exactly where our seats were. I knew they were really good, and Mike was like, okay, well, just keep walking until you hit the end, and then you're right there, and that's your seat. So I was right on the aisle. It was really great. And I'm glad that we didn't have anyone in front of us, because I flew out of my seat several times, and I'm sure if someone had been in front of me, they would have fucking hated my guts. So it was really great. Yeah, the crowd, we got there early. We just we ran into no traffic.
Nice.
Because we left just early enough. And so we were there. We didn't even wait in line. The doors were just open. We just walked in. We were there so early.
Nice.
Yeah, it was super nice. And
Did it take you 8 hours to get out of the parking lot after the show?
No, it only took us 15 minutes. Because we got there so early, we're parked.
You smartly.
We were all the way on the side by the Target on the other side, and right next to a driveway.
It is hellacious to get out of the Allstate Arena parking lot.
It is so bad.
When I went and saw Cher, we were in the parking lot. When we were leaving, we were in the parking lot for an hour and a half trying to exit.
I think that the secret is to not try to go out the side by the highway that we
by the Target.
Yeah, it's to go out the Target, because you can kind of force your way out. Also, there was a cop there who knew what he was fucking doing. He was like, come on, what are you waiting for? Go! We were like, all right. So that was pretty fun.
So you got there in time to watch the dark matches?
Yeah, we saw all the dark matches, and we watched the place fill up, because we were the first 200, 300 people in there.
Right.
So we watched the whole thing fill up. Right away, immediately, people started cheering New Day Rocks. Everybody was super hot for them. That kept happening. Everyone kept cheering AJ Styles before they started, which was also very exciting. I wasn't necessarily expecting that, but I mean, because they're a heel town, but he was a heel, so I guess it sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
But there wasn't even really a CM Punk chant up
until Dum Dum.
Well, there were 2 dark matches. I'll start with those. Okay, so there was Zack Ryder versus The Miz. These are for Superstars. Who the fuck is going to watch Superstars? I don't know.
If there's lots of Zack Ryder and Miz matches, maybe I'll watch Superstars.
Yeah, I mean, I watch it every once in a while, but so spoilers for Superstars.
Nobody gives a shit about Superstars spoilers. That's laughable.
I know. But Zack Ryder and Miz had a really good match. It was fun. It was good...
because they're good wrestlers.
Yeah, they're good wrestlers. It was a good, fun warm-up match, and the second dark match was the Ascension versus the Usos, which I was kind of surprised that the Usos...
Was it good?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. The woman behind me hated the Usos more than, to a level that...
I find that very funny.
It's to the level that, we dislike the Red Menace. Like, she hated the Usos. She was like, I don't even like the Ascensions.
Except for, like, everyone hates the Red Menace. It's funny that she, like, just hated the Usos.
Was so angry that they were out there and was like, I'll cheer for the Ascension so much, I don't want you to win. And I was like, damn, girl, calm down. It's fine. But that match was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was, the dark matches were really good, but at one point, there was, like, a downswing in the match with the Usos and the Ascension, and then the crowd cheered CM Punk for, like, a hot second, and they were like, yeah, whatever. All right, we'll just let it go.
We have to do this.
We have to do this. And Mike and I were like, all right, well, everybody got it out of their system. And I honestly...
I'm surprised that they didn't do it during the beginning.
Well, because people don't want to chant over Shane, and they really like him. And also, like...
People are scared of Vince?
Well, no, I think that I don't think people would have done it. I think that's kind of a thing that started to fade out a little bit.
I'm glad.
I'm glad too.
I like CM Punk a whole bunch. But
yeah.
I do not like that chant.
And it was really used as, like, a weapon against Vince. Like, we cheered asshole so loud for so long. And then afterwards he was like, oh, that's all you got? That's all you got? And it was like, oh, is that you? Is that what you think?
Do you think that's all we got?
Do you know where you are, motherfucker? You're in Chicago. We're like, yep, okay. And I'm glad that it was like, this is our response to that, just so you know that we're listening to what you say. And then, like, it kind of died out after that. So I was glad about that, too. Anyway, that was sort of a regression. So it started off with Shane, right? That was where the broadcast started? Okay.
I really liked his promo. I mean, it was a good, like, opposite of Stephanie's Queen promo. Mm-hmm. It was just, like, a good, like, it's not a bookend, but it was just, like, a good summation of him as a character and where he's coming from.
I like, too, that with her, it was like, it's about our business and how our business affects our family. And, like, I want my family to be able to be successful in this business. And his was more like, this is personal. This is about me and my family and the way that I interact with them as a human. Yeah. And so you're right. I think that was a really good way to showcase both of their characters very clearly.
You know, this could not always work, but the way that he basically was, like, the voice of the internet, too. He was like, I'm saying all of the things that you want to hear and that you think. And in my head, I was like, I know that this is, you know, Vince signs off on everything, and this is obviously, like, a plan. But, like, it just, even if it wasn't, like, it felt really genuine, which is what I think so, like, you know, maybe Shane agrees with a lot of this stuff, or he's just, like, a really good actor, but, like... I think sometimes, like, had it come out of, you know, Stephanie's mouth, and we both love Stephanie, but had that phrasing and stuff come out of Stephanie's mouth, like, oh, things are horrible, he's not listening to the fans, he's out of touch, all this stuff. If she had said something like that, it would have seemed like a script or disingenuous, but, like, coming from him and him not being there for a long time, and just the way he delivered it, it just felt really, really genuine, which is why I think the audience ate it up more than that. Like, they would have eaten it up anyways, but everyone freaked out over it. Mm-hmm. And then Vince came out and stepped on a photo.
Yes.
And I was like, that's such a tiny prop. But at least he put it... Yeah, and at least he put it on the big screen. He was like, oh, also, like... I know that it was a long time ago, but, like, Shane's pants as, like, a tiny baby were crazy. They were the craziest little baby pants.
That photo was super cute,
It was
too.
a really cute photo.
What is this house you lived
also,
in
like,
years ago?
To, like, look at Vince and, like, what all of the weird... I know, legal or not legal steroids this man has put in his body, how it's literally changed to the shape of his face.
So much.
I was like, that doesn't even look like you.
I know.
This is bananas to me. It was a good back and forth with them, and it was you know, security, get them out. We all know when security's called for
what's
anything,
up, local
we know
talent?
what's gonna happen. But, like, there was a good ebb and flow to that, and also, like, you know, Shane is just, like, a weird flurry of a wrestler, so it's fun to watch.
What a great way to describe him. He is a flurry of a
he's
wrestler.
Just like a little flurry, like, you know, he does this little shuffle, like, he has some skill.
Yeah.
He can do moonsaults and or he could do moonsaults and stuff, like.
I think he probably can.
He probably still can, but he's like a flurry.
Like, he's in great shape, and seeing him in person, when he walked out, even before he got in the ring,
he's not that much younger,
wow!
Not that much younger than Undertaker. Like, they're decently close in age.
Yeah, and, like, Liger is the same age as Undertaker. If you take care of your body...
Liger is a Power Ranger.
Yeah, but if
he has special powers.
If you take care of your body, and Shane McMahon has money, so it's basically the same thing.
Having money is a special power.
That, like, seeing him, like, actually be able to move like that, and I love that they gave us just a little bit of tease of him.
Right. Well, they also had the video package later of, like, look, remember, Shane can kind of actually do this.
Right, exactly. And so I feel like that is kind of pointing more in the direction that, like,
it's going to be him.
I really think it's going to be him. And I feel like there was a little bit of hope that because Taker is Vince's man, that Shane would have, like, John Cena come back and be his representative. But Cena officially said, like, I'm not going to be at WrestleMania. Right. I'm not going to be healed by then, so let it go, basically.
Let it go.
So I really feel like it's going to be Shane and Taker, and I'm kind of really excited about it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, like, even if it's not a great match, it'll be an interesting match.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be worth viewing.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I mean, it started off hot, too, because after that, we had Owens and Neville, which, like...
Yes. They
good match.
Yeah, they came out, and I was like, all right, I don't know why this is happening, but I'm excited to see this, I guess. Like,
yeah, it was a good match. We had some fun Owens being a dick to Michael Cole moments, which are my favorite moments. And then, surprise, surprise, here comes Sami Zayn!
My God. I was out of my chair screaming before I could even process
your
it.
Chair when that music plays. Like, even if he came out every 30 minutes, I would like still be like, oh.
Before the crowd, before the show even started, before the dark matches, people were chanting that Olay chant, the Olay, 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 Olay. And Mike and I were like, he's not even here. Like, this is great that they're cheering for him, but like, he's not even here. And then he came out, and that place fucking exploded. It sure
did explode.
It exploded. Like, I have never heard a pop like that in real life, and it just, whew, man, we were very excited to see him. And like, I mean, we were right at the guardrail, and I was like leaning over the guardrail, like screaming. I was so excited about it. Like, I had too much strep for how hard I was screaming for Sami Zayn, and it was fucking worth it. Like,
well, I mean,
it was so exciting.
I think people were thinking, like, is there going to be an Owens-Zayn match at Mania?
He has a splash card for Roadblock, and so I think that was part of it, is that people were like, what?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? It's still unclear what his role is going to be exactly.
It is also unclear what the fuck is going to happen at Roadblock. They're pimping it a lot for it to just be like a Beast in the East house show.
It's really weird.
I'm very curious to see what actually happens at Roadblock.
It feels more like when they threw in Elimination Chamber. Yeah, like, it feels like a full-scale pay-per-view.
It does feel like that.
I just don't understand. Like, Bray can't lose to Lesnar, and also Dean Ambrose is never going to get the belt. I don't get it.
We'll see. It's bananas. Either way, Owens and Zayn are going to be on SmackDown and Miz TV.
Yeah, I saw that. So that's exciting.
Hopefully we'll get to, like, know more of what's... Hopefully they'll, like, leak something like, oh, they're going to be set up here to wrestle here. Right. I just hope that they are a match for the IC belt at Mania.
Oh, God, I hope so. It'll be fantastic.
Because if Sammy picks it up and moves to the main roster, I mean, Owens is great, like, chasing and fighting.
Sami is wrestling Nakamura the night before.
Who knows? He can wrestle everyone.
Well, that's the thing, is Sami was El Generico. He wrestled on the indies for so long. Like, he can do two big matches
absolutely.
Back-to-back with two people he is familiar with already.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's a big part of it. I also feel like Sami can lose to Nakamura. It makes him look great because he's being introduced into NXT.
And then show up at Mania and be like, I'm taking this belt.
Right, exactly, to show up at Mania. Even if he doesn't win at Mania at first, just to be like, I'm here and I am fighting for this, and like, I lost because I fought Nakamura the night before, and now I demand to have a rematch. Even that I think would work. So I'm really excited about it.
Me too. I hope it all works out because, I mean, they've been teasing us an Owens-Zayn thing for a while, and like, obviously it got sidetracked with the injury, but like, I want it. We all want it.
I'm so excited about it. Oh, also, this was a sort of newsy thing, I guess, that we can throw in here because it's sort of related to this. It was sort of announced that Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows are no longer going to NXT. They're just going to come straight to the main roster, which makes me think Finn is moving up.
Yeah.
Like, they've been teasing them as this, like, bulletproof thing.
I think Finn can... I know everyone is worried about Finn going to the main roster, but if he's going with the Bullet
Club, basically.
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. And so I think that it'll be interesting to see how everybody gets integrated in. I like how Dallas TakeOver goes really is going to affect what we are looking at for Mania too. So that's very exciting.
I am excited.
Yes.
Then we had a weird Ziggler moment with Stephanie, which like whatever.
I could not hear anything that was
Oh,
happening.
he was like, remember Survivor Series?
Oh yeah,
and she goes,
2 years ago?
She goes, Survivor Series? He goes, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Well, it was just, like, I mean, it was an interesting filler. They were like, yeah, we fucked you over. Go wrestle the league. Mm-hmm. Which he did a good job until, you know, 3-on-1.
Of course, Wade Barrett is the only one who took a pin.
Well, he's leaving.
Right? He's a quitter, fuck it.
Yeah, that's probably what they're thinking. Yeah, he's a quitter. Fuck that guy. And then we had Brie mode.
That match was over before it even fucking started. It was so short.
I just texted you because, like, I just got Brie mode out of my head. It was, like, in my head for a full 2.5 weeks, and I just got it out of my head, and the song came on, I was like, no. Please don't get stuck again. It is not stuck, thankfully.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Good to see Summer. I like seeing Summer.
I love that Summer's just like, yeah, what's
up,
up,
girls? She won, and she was like, yeah, I won! I won! I did it! Me!
She's won her last 2 Raw matches.
Good for Summer.
Good for her.
I do not understand this Lana Brie stuff. First of all, the backstage, I'm a real woman, this and that, whatever. My fake Russian accent, I'm from Florida. And then, but like, why was she in her Dolph Ziggler get up?
Oh my god, I don't know. She looks great. Her ass is
banging,
she looks
but
I don't
great,
give a
but like,
fuck.
Why are you in your Ziggler get up when you are with Rusev and that's all you can talk about? And I mean, at least she had her, you know, her giant heels off when she did the.
She came in the ring and I was like,
yeah,
where are your shoes?
When she walked in the ring and I was like, oh, she's barefoot. I was like, she's gonna either take a bump or give a bump.
Yeah. Oh, give a bump, obviously.
Well, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it was
She executed that well.
Yeah,
the one move she's ever done.
Yeah, seriously. All I've heard is that she is not very good. So I am anxious to see that. Is that going to be the second ladies match at Mania?
I don't think it will be at Mania. I don't think they're going to have 2 ladies matches at Mania.
I think there are going to be 2 ladies matches, but I thought that maybe the other ladies match.
Let's make a bet right now.
Okay.
I do not think that there are going to be 2 women's matches. You do think that there are going to be 2 women's matches.
I do think there are going to be 2 women's matches.
Mozzarella sticks?
Mozzarella sticks.
And shake.
All right. I feel like there'll be the triple threat match, and then there'll probably be either a secondary storyline short bathroom break match, or there'll be like a number 1 contenders battle royale so everyone can get paid.
I just don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know. It would be very exciting.
It would be very exciting, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I had heard some rumors that that was like part of the booking decisions, and I think it's because everyone is so injured now.
And also everyone was so happy when there were 2 women's matches on Fastlane.
Yes.
Too many fucking
pay-per-views. I think it's going to happen, and like, if it doesn't, I will be very sad, but I feel like they've got the talent for it, and also everyone's fucking hurt.
And they have the room for it, but like, when has that ever been a factor for them?
Yeah, that's true. Well, the song for WrestleMania this year is a Motorhead song, and Lemmy's dead, so like, I don't think they're gonna play. Like, that would be sort of weird, so I feel like that's extra time too.
They've had multiple, like for the TakeOver London, they had 2 songs. So they could pick another song too. And when they introduced it, they said one of the Mania songs.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay.
Yeah. So I think they'll probably. Yes. I think Triple H just wrote in his contract every pay-per-view has to have a Motorhead song in addition to another song. I think he's just like, I love Motorhead and I'm the boss, so
that's
we
true.
do what I want. That's what I think.
That's
because it's also like a weird one. Like, why did you choose Sympathy for the Devil?
Yeah,
it makes no thematic sense. You just
I mean, everyone
Motorhead.
wants Triple H to win at Mania, but not at this. So I don't know. Maybe they're like, I'm the devil. I don't fucking know.
What was next? Was it the Callisto Tyler? Oh no, it was the weird R-Truth Stardust Goldust. Where's Stardust? Doesn't matter. R-Truth Goldust.
The pizza spot. I get that they are playing to...
Hey, he's got an explosive butt.
Right? Like, I get that they're playing to... Like,
this is one of my favorite ones. I have not been liking this, but this was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, like, I like that they're sort of playing to kids and to, like, lowbrow humor. Like, this one made me laugh. I thought it was really funny. I like now that it's reversed and, like, we're getting this kind of, like, payoff for it. Now. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
It's like a very old trope. It's like a Midsummer Night's Dream trope where they're, like... we love you now, Helena. We love you now. And she's like, no, you're just making fun of me. Whereas like, no, he's like, no, I want to be your tag team partner. And Goldust is like, you're just making fun of me now. And it's a fun, like, trope.
It's turned it around. I'm like, before I was starting to get annoyed with it. And now I'm like, I actually kind of enjoy this.
It was annoying when Goldust, his champagne penis, like, poured his champagne cum all over R2's wife. So.
Yeah, that was pretty annoying.
It was pretty annoying.
I would literally much rather hear him talk about his explosive butt, so I'm glad. Good come around, I
mean,
guess.
they have good comedic timing, too.
Yeah,
so, like,
they're both
funny.
really good comedic wrestlers now, and
hopefully, the payoff of them as a tag team is worth it.
Yeah, I mean, even if... I would love if they become a tag team and, like, win the belts on accident somehow, and then immediately lose them. Like, that would be super fun. I would really enjoy that.
Yeah.
And Mark Henry diving in to get that pizza afterwards was perfect. It was everything I wanted it to be.
And then there was the tag match.
Yes.
Which was a great match.
Y2AJ versus the New Day.
The
woman...
AJ.
Okay, so the
woman who hated the Usos.
No, not the woman who hated the Usos. So we were at the guardrail, and then, like, you drop down, and then there's that floor seating.
Right.
The woman who was sitting closest to us in that floor seating was wearing a Y2AJ shirt. I was like, how the fuck did you get this so fast?
Hey, well, they had them.
They've been up on the website for, like, less than a week.
Well, they're coming down.
Apparently, I guess so. That shit got destroyed immediately. Now it's a vintage t-shirt.
Everything is vintage
They
in the
printed
WWE.
those, like, the Sheamus 515 shirts. It was just, like, it happened immediately overnight, and they were like, we're ready for this.
We're ready. It makes me laugh that they can totally get that shit out immediately, but, like, Naomi can't have a shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like, there's not demand for it. There's demand for a Y2A. I guess there is. That woman had
That one lady had
I just watched her look so disappointed at the end of the match, too. Just like, how dare you? I thought
that match was really good. Like,
the match was really good.
Seeing AJ Styles and Kofi Kingston in the ring together.
Yeah, they're a good match.
Both can do, like, they're similar body builds. They're both high flyers. They both take moves well. Like, they are really fun to watch together.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that they just barely kept the titles. Like, it was good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Chris Jericho heel turns just as much as Big Show. I want like a tally. Like, you were just a face, and then now you're heel. I don't. You were just heel, now you're a face, now you're heel again. I don't know. You're mad because people are chanting him. I guess it's a very Chris Jericho thing to be like, nobody's paying attention to me.
Yeah, in
But
Chicago,
Chris Jericho,
where Y2J premiered.
What a drama queen.
I like that he said AJ Styles like 5 times too.
Yeah.
AJ Styles. And that is what was happening. We were cheering very loud.
Why did he shove that t-shirt in his mouth?
I don't know, it was very aggressive.
I wonder if AJ knew that was coming.
AJ looked like he was gagging on his shirt. It was really weird. I thought Chris Jericho was going to rip it very dramatically.
Yeah, I thought he was going to rip it too.
Oh, no, friend.
Nope.
Shoved that right up in his mouth.
When Baron Corbin pulled the shirt off of Austin Aries, it came off very easily, and I was like, are these shirts made to rip off? Because I have a hole in one of my shirts, one of my newer WWE shirts, and I was like, are these made to rip apart? Is that why I have a hole in my shirt? That's a side thought about my brain. Kalisto versus Tyler Breeze.
So Kalisto came out, and I was like, yeah, lucha. And then when Tyler Breeze's video...
look, it's Tyler.
Well, his video package starts, his lights come up.
Right.
I did not remember who it was. I know, it made me really sad.
Because you just haven't seen him in such a long time.
Yeah, the lights come up, and there's like a full second before the music starts, and I was like, I don't remember whose entrance this is. And then as soon as the music started, I was like, oh no. It made me really sad. And oh my god, he looked hot as fuck.
Yeah,
Can we just discuss for a second how fucking hot he looked?
And he's a fucking really, really good wrestler. Like,
I
there's
know.
a lot of people who are like enhancement talent or like The Miz. We talked about The Miz. I'm super hot for The Miz. I love The Miz. The Miz is a good wrestler. I would never say The Miz is a really fucking good wrestler. Oh my god, why aren't you using they're using him in a way that he should be used.
Right.
The Miz gets used properly.
Right, I agree.
Tyler Breeze gets used not properly.
He's
and
a
oh my god, he's a phenomenal wrestler.
Yes, he's super, super good. And like, he has a beard now. And I was just like, oh god.
I know.
Oh man, Zack Ryder's beard. We didn't talk about that earlier.
We didn't talk about
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. too. My goodness.
I love thinking about Zack Ryder and Emma as a couple. It makes me so happy.
They seem like such a great couple. I just love it.
I love them so much. I've never even seen them interact, and I love them
care.
so much.
I don't even care.
I've seen one picture of them together, and I'm like, I love you.
I love Renee and Dean a little bit more, but I think they're so adorable.
The relationship confuses me, but Dean Ambrose confuses me, so.
I love Renee and Dean because
I like when Renee is interviewing him backstage.
Yeah,
and then
that's
I'm like, huh? Are we gonna?
I like it.
Any breaks?
Every once in a while he'll do stuff that it's like
clearly he's trying to fuck with her.
Yeah, like I see you. You know who I am. And like I like that. I like that we get to see that part of their relationship. And so I think that maybe that's why they're my favorite. But I do love the idea of Zack and Emma.
I love it so much.
Also, it's so like great.
It's those men with beards. They look so good.
They do look so good.
They look so good.
Just about every man's face is improved by a beard.
Yes. I would 100% agree.
Yeah. Every once in a while, there are men who look very good without beards, or who look terrible with beards, but most of the time,
men's faces are improved with beards.
Yeah.
And sometimes there are men who can pull off mustaches. Those are few and far between, but they exist.
If you can pull off a mustache, you should do it, because it's like, if you can pull off a mustache,
Nick can pull off a mustache so well, and he barely ever has one, because he's like, oh, you can't have a mustache at work, and I'm like, but I love your mustache. Two of our friends got him a tiny comb and mustache wax for Christmas.
Cute.
And he was like, gotta shave my mustache.
If you work for one of the Disney parks, it's the only facial hair you're allowed to have. You can only have a
villain mustache, a twirly Q mustache.
Just a mustache, yeah. Probably because they're like, most people look terrible and will never just want to maintain a mustache.
Also,
it's very classic.
Well, and also the parameters to work at Disney are bananas.
Oh, they're bananas. It seems like a disgusting hellhole. I'm sure some people like it, but
or some delusional people aspire to it. Cough, cough. We can't talk about that on this podcast.
Anyway, Tyler Breeze looked really great. I like that he had his hair down too. He looked really good. But like the match itself also was very good.
Yeah, I mean, it was short, but it was good.
Mm-hmm. And
he is a great enhancement talent because he is a great wrestler.
Right.
I would love to see an actual campaign between the two of them. Like that would actually. Yeah. I just want the best for Tyler Breeze.
I know. I would really like to see him do anything, and it just seems like
it was nice to see him on Raw at least.
Yeah, that was really nice. And like Mike was, after it was over, Mike was like, "Well, at least he got paid $1,000 to job. Like that, it's better than not getting paid to getting paid $400 to sit backstage and do nothing.
Right.
Like good for him." So it was nice to see him. And next time I'll remember what his entrance video looks like.
Oh, Aaron.
It made me very sad.
The worst part about that match, though, is that match led into a Ryback promo.
Oh my god.
Hey, Callisto, you're little. I've been around here for a while. I'm not little. My name is Ryback. Watch me go. Bye. I know that's not what he said, but
no, you missed pop culture reference, pop culture reference, pop culture reference.
I listened to it. I just blocked it out. I don't think that there is... Okay, obviously I don't know him. I'm just saying this because you know how like some people can be like, I hate Kim Kardashian. I hate, I literally cannot think of another celebrity. Oh, Nick hates Hugh Jackman. Like, obviously we don't know these people or whatever. I cannot think of another like celebrity, quote, whatever, who I hate more than Ryback. He might write beautiful love letters to his grandma and keeps like a shelter of children alive. I don't know. I hate him. I hate the character of Ryback. Yeah. Every time I see a picture of his big dumb face, I get so upset. And his promos make me want to pull my eyebrows out.
Garbage.
They're not, but they're also like weirdly like it's like watching a train wreck. I tweeted today earlier. I was like, how many times do you think that Ryback practices those promos? Like he looks in the mirror and he like does his secret Buddha whatever.
Literally until he is on camera.
Feed me more, and it's just like I memorized this promo.
I bet
I'm going to hit it, and I am Ryback.
I bet the second he gets that script, he memorizes it and then runs it like 1,000 times while he does burpees or some bullshit. Like it's...
He probably does the old actor trick where he records it and then like listens to it while he's lifting weights.
Mm-hmm. Guaranteed. Because it is just like, I am going to hit these marks. These are the lines that I am saying. They are coming out of my mouth.
Somebody also tweeted at me, so what if Ryback had nipple rings? And I was on my way to get fitted for my new glasses, and I just had to stand outside the store for like 5 minutes and just laugh because like the image of Ryback in his little panties with nipple rings telling people how big he is just funny to me.
I would do a hard turnaround on Ryback.
Yeah, you know what, Ryback? The one way to win me over is to get some nipple rings. The worst.
That's like everything I want in my life. Yeah. Everybody kept booing the screen while he was doing his promo backstage. So I didn't hear a lot of it, but I heard all the pop culture drops, and I just screamed super loud, like mouth diarrhea out. You don't even know what these mean!
Yeah, no, he's the spotlight, remember? The worst mistake he's ever made.
So ridiculous.
And then the Social Outcast came out, and they cut some funny promos and, like, whatever.
Yeah, they're funny.
We like the Social Outcast, but, everyone's calling them the social jobbers. Whatever,
that's fine.
We're drinking tea out of a Believe cup. I like that. But, we've talked before. Enhancement talent is a real thing and needs to be there.
It's super important.
Enhancement talent should be used to put over people who are not Ryback.
Right, and I also think they're doing a really good job, like we've talked about many times, that like they're doing a great job of putting Curtis Axel over as a stronger wrestler.
I agree. When this faction, if and when it breaks up, he's going to be the one, if any of them come out, he's going to be the one that comes out on top.
Right, which I'm good. I'm down with. I like him a lot. Yeah, I agree. I went to the bathroom during this match. I stayed and I watched the Social Outcast talk because I was like, you guys are funny.
Out and you were like, feed me, fuck you.
Yep, exactly. I got up and I went to the bathroom and I came back as he was leaving. He was gone already, and I was like, oh, I missed this whole fucking match. So I did not see when he apparently did the CM Punk running.
To sleep, yeah.
And mocked CM Punk in the corner, and I was like...
To me, it's not even, like, a good heel move because it's laughable. To me, it's like, yeah, CM Punk is a billion times... Like, forever, however anybody feels about him now, because he's left, and all the UFC stuff, and the way he left, and whatever, however you feel about him now, he will always be a billion times the wrestler and the performer that Ryback was, and, like... It's one thing, like, if Kevin Owens makes fun of somebody, it's like, oh, that's great heel work because he's actually very good.
Right.
And he's using that as heel work because he's smart and he's telling a story and whatever.
Right.
But, like, it just seemed laughable to me. It was like, oh, you're like a little kid who's mad because CM Punk told everyone how much of a garbage wrestler you are. What did somebody say on the Chicago Squared Circle thing? They called him pure trash.
Yes, absolutely.
I was like, oh, Ryback, you are pure trash.
Oh my god. I also feel like we were talking on the same post about this on Squared Circle. I feel like Ryback doesn't realize that he's a heel, maybe? I don't really, does he have the self-awareness that he is a heel gimmick?
Ryback is very dumb.
Yeah, I'm really confused by it. Like, are you like, I deserve this because I'm such a good guy heel, or are you like the responding to the smart marks on the internet heel? Like, I don't think that it's clear because I don't think Ryback understands like exactly what's going on. I think that he legit feels like, yeah, I'm still the good guy. I'm a tweener now and I'm aggressive. And it's like, no, I think you're a heel now. And I'm really confused about what you're doing. And like, this mocking is like a very heel thing to do, but you're not very good at it. And like, everybody booed you, but not for the reason you think that they did. Like, it's really weird.
I feel like we should start giving Ryback his own minute. Because I don't know if I can talk about him at length every week. I'm not going to make that decision yet.
Long segments.
But I feel like he might be another minute.
Okay.
I don't know if I can do it every week. I really hate him. I don't know why. I like in the past 3 weeks, it's just gone from like mild annoyance and ugh, I don't like Ryback to like, I hate you.
Right. I think the line for deserving your own minute is that it's not just like with Baron Corbin, it's fun to talk about how much we hate him because like he's annoying and fuck Baron Corbin and his mouth is a weird belly button, whatever.
His belly button is a weird mouth.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
This is a fun new thing if you haven't noticed. Next time Baron Corbin takes his shirt off, his nipples look like eyes and his belly button looks like a mouth.
His nipples look like eyes?
Yeah. Well, because his belly button looks like a mouth, then if you look at his whole torso, it looks like a face.
I thought about that. Oh my god. That's horrifying.
Well, he has a weird belly button.
He does have a super weird belly button. But that interaction is fun. It's fun to talk about Baron Corbin.
Getting better and
right,
whatever.
exactly. And like I have accepted that he's gonna be around for a while, and like I actually do like his finisher, and I like that it's being protected in some ways, even though like fuck Baron Corbin. But if Ryback gets to the point where you're like, I don't even want to talk about how much I hate him because I just hate him.
If any wrestler gets to the point where like it's painful for me to talk about,
right,
we'll just give him a minute.
That's how we feel about the Red Menace. It was like fun to talk about how disappointed we were, and then it
became like, no, we can't.
No, I hate everything about you. This isn't even fun anymore. Okay, if it gets to that point, we will do that close. For the Ryback.
The Ryback. Team Bay versus Team Bad.
This was fun. It was short. I wish it was
way too short.
I wish it was longer. Yeah, I don't understand why it was so short. I feel like this might have been a match.
Ryback got so much time.
His promo was longer than their match, which was bullshit. Like, I don't understand how that happened.
His promo and match was longer than both the women's matches put together.
Yeah, which is bullshit. Super bullshit.
Pure trash.
But what they did do was good. I enjoyed it. Tamina botched one of the... Becky tried to throw through the second rope and she botched that.
Becky covered it because she just dropped down and kicked him out.
Yep, and then Tamina like did the leg sweep from underneath of her, which worked out pretty well. That was really the only thing that I had to about with that match. I really enjoyed it. I like too that I did not like that the crowd started to cheer "We want Sasha," but I like that Becky responded to it by immediately giving them Sasha.
Yeah, and she was like, "I don't even want to deal with your bullshit."
Right, exactly. And so then when Becky came back, they didn't chant it again, and I thought that was good. That was a really good.
I think that's a CM Punk type chant now. People think that they have to do it or whatever. Again, I love Sasha. I've never liked the "We Want Sasha" chant because I think it's really disrespectful to the other athletes because they would always cheer it when another female wrestler was in there. Just like when people would cheer CM Punk during AJ Lee's matches. Like, it's not okay.
Right.
It's disrespectful to the people who are actually there.
Right.
I get if you want to cheer CM Punk or We Want Sasha, cheer it during Vince.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Acceptable. Or during Rabbit. Cheer whatever you want during Rabbit. I don't give a fuck. But I mean, that spot did set up more Mania stuff, which is good.
Mm-hmm. So overall,
Charlotte's being all Charlotte-y.
Yeah, Charlotte being Charlotte. She was on commentary. I couldn't hear any of that, so I don't know what the deal was with that.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. So.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
And then we had Dean and Bray, and then with Triple H at the end. I maybe just wasn't paying attention enough in the beginning because I was cleaning and stuff. I don't understand why it was Dean and Bray.
I don't either. I was really confused.
I was when they announced it later, because I was like, did I miss something? Because the top was Shane and Vince. I must have just zoned out for a second. But I have no idea why they wrestled.
Yeah,
they put on good matches, whatever, and then... Yeah, I don't know.
Was there a backstage segment where Triple H told Dean that did that happen?
Maybe?
Did he come out and I just missed it and was not paying? He must have come out. I feel like I cheered for Triple H coming out at one point.
Maybe.
I don't really remember. Because I remember Triple H saying, "You're going to fight Bray Wyatt," but I can't remember in what context that happened.
I can't remember at all.
I think that they did come out and have an interaction. Oh my god, I know, right? I'm on so many antibiotics. I can't even keep anything straight. Redonkulous.
Whatever, it
anyway,
happened.
So they set up for this thing. I was there and can't remember what the fuck happened. So that tells you about how effective that was in being planted in our memories. Maybe they just played too many replay packages that I was like, I don't fucking remember.
There were a lot of packages last night.
Oh, there were so many packages.
But Dean and Bray wrestled.
Yeah. It's weird that they have headlined so many pay-per-views already together, and this doesn't feel like, oh my god, we're seeing this again.
We haven't seen it in a while, to be fair.
We haven't seen it in a while.
We saw it a bunch.
Yeah, and so it's weird that they come out and that's not your first thought is oh, well, why are they doing this again? It's, why is this happening at all? It's not I'm tired of this. It's oh, this is fun, but why? I don't really get it. And it wasn't even a particularly great match.
No, it was pretty short.
Yeah, it was short, and it also
because the Wyatts got involved, and then...
Where the fuck did they come from? I did not...
I wanted to ask you that, because, I've always wondered, can the people there see them,
I thought for sure they ran down the ramp, and Mike was like, no, I don't think that they did. Were they under the ring? They must have set up under the ring during some kind of, blackout commercial break that I didn't notice, because they just appeared. That blackout was very short.
To have to be under the ring.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that it sucks. Those dudes are big, too. That is probably not comfortable. Maybe that's why that match was so short.
Because they were those guys are under the ring.
Yeah, we need to be done with this already. But that's really effective on TV. It is very effective in person.
Yeah.
Holy shit, these big dudes are just
where do they come from?
Where the fuck did they come
cool.
from?
I've always wondered that.
Yeah, so
how effective it is in person.
Yeah, it works really, really well. I really enjoyed it. And that match was already kind of weird, and like
Right.
I knew there were going to be shenanigans of some kind because neither of them could afford a loss on the go-home show to Roadblock, so like neither of them were going to lose, I guess.
I'm so confused about the ending because like the ending happened and then we have this like interaction between Triple H and Bray Wyatt that it looked like Bray Wyatt was coming for Triple H's title. But like,
that
okay,
was
so in our heads,
unexpected.
Pre-Raw, it's Mania is going to be Roman and Triple H, but he's going to have to fight Dean, but we think he's going to win. But then after this whole Raw, I was like, well, now I feel like Dean might win, and then Bray will fight Brock, and then Triple H is there. I'm so confused. I have, like, good on them, because now I'm fucking confused, and, like, also good on them for just being like, we're just going to take Roman off of TV for a while.
Smart. It was super smart to not have him in Chicago.
Because, like, we know... We probably all do know what main event Mania is. It's probably still going to be Roman Reigns and Triple H. But, like, they're doing a good job making us, like, second guess and question things.
Yeah. They're, like, I'm sure that the plan has not changed because the plan does not change. Because
the plan does not change.
It does not get ripped from the cold, dead hands of Vince McMahon. So it does not change. So I agree. I think that we're still going to get the same stuff. Like, all the promotional posters have already been made. All that, like, promotional shit has already started to go out. So I feel it seems very unlikely that they're going to change that. But at the same time, you're right. Like, there does feel like there's a lot of, like, what the fuck exactly is going on? And, like, I read an interview with Bray today where he was talking about fighting Lesnar at this pay-per-view. And he's like, well, yeah, obviously I would rather that this be on WrestleMania, but it's not. And we'll see what happens after that. He also said, you don't know who my opponent is for WrestleMania.
That's true.
Which is true. And, like, who is his opponent for WrestleMania? And, like, now I feel like he's...
What if he fights all the Wyatts and eats their souls, and then they all wither and die?
But I like Harper. I want Harper to stay
but
around.
then he becomes all of the Wyatts in one Wyatt.
That would be like a Super Megatron Wyatt. I'm like into that, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Brock can lose at Roadblock, but Lesnar can't lose at Roadblock either. Like, it just seems like, I mean, I know Bray's gonna lose now. Like, I've accepted it. Like, but...
Unless there's shenanigans.
Yeah, maybe shenanigans will happen.
Brock has lost to Bray with shenanigans.
That's true. And, like, the Wyatt family threw out Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble, so, like, maybe something like that will happen as well. And, but I don't know. Maybe, like... there's no way Dean is gonna win the belt. Like, that's just never gonna happen. Like, I would love it. I would love if Dean won.
I know. I don't think that it's gonna happen. I just think that they're doing a good job, like, making us all being like, what's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of being like, oh, our rule, we have to wait till April 3rd or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Is it April 3rd?
April something. I don't know. First weekend.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
All right, what is it?
It is April 3rd. I'm so smart.
Good job, you remembered.
I'm so smart. We've talked about Raw for 40 minutes. I'm done talking about this.
Oh, there was also that weird pizza spot at the end of the Raw, which was super fun. And if you were there, you got to see it. And if you weren't, you didn't. So sorry.
Great.
Oh, and also another, like, tag on to the end of this. New Japan just brought back the J-Cup tournament, which they've done in the past a bunch. I've never watched a J-Cup tournament. It's starting. There's a lot going on. I've been very sick. I have a lot of homework, so I haven't really started it yet. But apparently there have been some really good matches. So that is also happening in New Japan. So if I see any good stuff, I'll send it your way.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I do want to watch the next Chikara taping or pay-per-view or whatever because the main event is going to be Kimberly and Heidi Lovelace.
Fantastic!
Yeah, so I absolutely want to watch that.
I'm totally into that.
Also, I can't go this Friday, and I don't think you can go this Friday either, but so it will be tomorrow when this drops. But if you live in Chicago, go see Freelance Wrestling. Their show is this Friday, which would be March 11th. I can't go because I have a burlesque show, but it is a super, super fun show. It's like $10. It's so fun. The talent's great. The atmosphere is great. And if you are in Chicago, you should definitely be going to Freelance Wrestling shows because they are bananas fun.
Yeah, they were it was super fun when we went. Like, I like a lot of their characters. I like the wrestling that those guys do. Like, support local wrestling. That was very exciting.
Also, I think, I'm not 100%, so don't quote me, but I think if you're not in Chicago, I do think they do a YouTube stream where they do some kind of live stream or something.
I think so, yeah.
So I would check it out. Check out Freelance Wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I was talking to C. Rose on Twitter about Chikara, and she was talking about the way to get into it and about PWG and like how those storylines interact too. So I'm like, she was like, you can use me as a resource as you learn things. So like, as we continue to watch stuff too, it'll be nice to have like another resource.
This
that
podcast is going to become 7 hours long.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're adding Chikara, PWG.
Oh my god, I want to know everything about PWG. Bill Handstack also offered to like be a guest and talk about PWG, so we can like learn stuff too. He's like my new favorite person on Twitter. He's super fun.
It's funny, I was like, this episode's going to be short because we're just going to touch on NXT and TNA, and then we talked about Raw for 40 minutes.
Well, I was there!
You weren't there, and it was in Chicago, so whatever.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Anyway.
Well, thank you for listening. If this is your first time, I hope you enjoyed it.
If you are returning, thanks for coming back.
And thanks for coming back. Like I said, we have a backlog, so you can go listen to them. Apparently, last week's episode was super fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just edited it. I didn't listen to it for joy, so if you got joy out of it, I'm happy.
Yeah.
You can find us on the internet. I'm at Stella_Cheeks.
I'm at Erngency.
You can follow us on Tumblr at notyourdemographic.tumblr.com.
You can email us at notyourdemo@gmail.com.
Oh my god, you did it.
I know, we got it right this week. Yay!
You got it right. I've been getting it right.
Don't you start with me.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. It really, really means a lot. You can do it through your phone. I know you think you can't, but you can. If you don't have time to write something, you can just go on there and boop, 5 stars. It means a lot. It helps us out a whole bunch. We got a couple new reviews this week, and I've been listening to some other podcasts where they read them, and it seems like a fun fan interaction. So I'm going to read, 2 of these are from me. I didn't think one of them went through, so I made another one. So 2 of our reviews are from me.
Fantastic.
And one of them I pretend not to be me, and then one of them I pretend to be me, but it's the same name. So everyone, if you want to be amused, go read that.
I love that happened.
We have one from Newbie115 that says, as somebody who knew nothing about wrestling, I found this podcast a creative way to slide into the culture. Stella and Aaron are funny, knowledgeable, and I love their fresh take with a feminist voice. Totally worth a subscription.
Thanks.
And we have one from Eli's Will that said, Wrestling Talk with Ladies. Seriously delightful. I like how they make an earnest effort to cover many promotions as opposed to the majority of wrestling podcasts seem to only really cover WWE. Whoops, this episode was WWE.
Yeah.
And consider the rest to be side notes or filler. If I lived near them at all, I would be spending all of my money trying to bribe them with cocktails to be my wrestling friends. Oh, we love to be bribed. Library_guy wrote, really digging this podcast. Great work, ladies. And then he just wrote, last kickers.
Awesome.
I wrote one that just said, this is my podcast. I love it. You should too. #no shame. But if you want to shout out our podcast, go leave us a rating and we will read it. So,
absolutely.
And thank you for all those people who have done it. You need to go take some medicine.
I need to take medicine and write a bunch of papers.
You always need to write a bunch of papers.
I know. This quarter's almost done. I've got like a week left, and then I have a week, and then I have another quarter.
Too many.
Can never end.
Well, I'm going to go read Inferno. So that's what I'm going to do.
That sounds great.
All right. Well, have a nice week. Peace, jabronis.
FABULOUS.
Millions of people have switched to Sprint this past year, and they're discovering that the Sprint network is better than ever. To celebrate, we're extending our 50% off promotion, so you don't have to miss out on this amazing deal. Switch to Sprint today and save 50% off most Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile rate plans for a limited time only. That's right, 50% off. All this on the Sprint network, which is faster, plus more reliable, and has better coverage than ever. Why wouldn't you switch today? We'll even pay your switching fees up to $650 per line via reward card. Learn more about how you can save 50% off most Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile rate plans. Hurry into a Sprint store or visit Sprint.com today.
Offer coverage not available everywhere. Excludes taxes, surcharges, add-on and premium content. Subject to new line port activation fee and credit. See website for eligible plans. Savings until 3/31/2018. After pay full amount. Requires trade-in of current working smartphone. Restrictions apply.